A single mother's incredible night with a stranger reveals an unexpected millionaire transform. The diner was a whirlwind of clinking dishes and laughter, a soundtrack of everyday life set against the backdrop of Sarah's relentless hustle. At 32, she was a whirlwind herself, working tirelessly to provide for her spirited daughter, Lily. Each day felt like a balancing act on the edge of a knife. Every rude customer at the counter a reminder of the economic hardships that silently threatened her family's happiness. But tonight was different. After a grueling shift of burnt coffee, loud chatter, and endless orders, Sarah slumped into a booth, ready to catch her breath. That's when she noticed him, Tom. He sat across the way, his quiet confidence wrapping around him like a warm blanket. Something about him drew her in. It was in the way his eyes sparkled with a hint of mischief, a stark contrast to the weariness she'd seen in her regular patrons. As if sensing her gaze, Tom turned, flashing a charming smile that lit up the dim diner. "Mind if I join you?" he asked, voice smooth as the cream that floated atop the last cup of coffee in front of her. A tentative nod was all it took to pull Sarah into an unexpected whirlwind. They spoke about trivial things at first, the best pie in town, the local baseball team, but as the minutes flew by, Sarah felt the walls she had built around her heart beginning to crumble. She shared her hopes, her dreams of a stable future for Lily, and all the burdens she carried alone. "I just want her to have what I didn't," she confessed, her voice barely above a whisper. "A stable home, a life without worry. Life isn't always fair," he replied quietly, eyes reflecting understanding. "But we keep going, right? We're fighters." That simple acknowledgement fired her hope. This stranger understood her struggle. As they delved deeper into their lives, however, the weight of Tom's words began to feel heavier. Behind his charming demeanor, Sarah caught glimpses of something lurking in the shadows, something more profound. Just when she thought they could connect, Tom's phone buzzed on the table. He checked it, and the sudden tension in his expression unnerved her. "I have to get this," he said, rising from the booth. Sarah's heart sank. "Of course," she said, forcing a smile that didn't reach her eyes. As he walked away, her heart raced with confusion. Who was this man, really? The conversation had felt so genuine, yet the looming sense of privilege surrounding him felt too sharp against the tapestry of her life. Yet despite her hesitations, she couldn't shake the connection they seemed to have forged. Before they could explore it further, Tom returned with an expression that seemed both enthusiastic and burdened. "Listen, I've got to go," he said, "but I want to see you again." His eyes held a glint of sincerity, but Sarah felt a chill wash over her. The uncertainty of his world, one that seemed to lack the struggles of hers, hung heavy in the air. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. As she wrapped up her shift that night, a choice lingered in her mind. The heart-wrenching mysteries of Tom's world swirled like smoke around her. Could she remain true to her values while involved with someone so seemingly different? Little did she know, their paths would cross once more at a community fundraiser, an event where the lines of privilege and sacrifice would blur, and where the truth about Tom's life would unravel, challenging everything Sarah thought she knew about success, family, and forgiveness. A storm was brewing on the horizon, and the reckonings that awaited them had the power to transform both their lives in ways they couldn't yet fathom. The community center buzzed with life as Sarah stepped through the doors. Colorful banners hung from the ceiling, and laughter filled the air. It felt like a different world, a far cry from the endless grind of the diner. She glanced at the crowd, a mix of familiar faces and newcomers, all gathered for the annual charity fundraiser. Every year, they raised money for local families in need, and Sarah always felt a swell of pride being a part of something bigger. Waving to a few friends, she made her way to the refreshment table, setting her eyes on a slice of cake that seemed to call her name. Just as she reached for it, a voice ripped through her thoughts. "Sarah." She turned to see Tom standing in a tailored suit that hugged his frame just right. He looked polished and confident, a stark contrast to the casual man she had met that night in the diner. "Wow, you clean up nicely," she said, half teasing. The warmth of his smile sent butterflies fluttering in her stomach. "Thanks. You look incredible," Tom replied, his eyes sparkling as they roamed over her dress. "I wasn't sure if I'd see you again." She took a breath, unsure of how to respond. "I didn't expect to see you, either. What brings you here?" He gestured around the room, his demeanor shifting slightly. "I'm here to support the cause. My family has always been involved with community work." A faint tension played in the air, reminding Sarah of their last encounter. There was something beneath his well-mannered exterior that intrigued her, but she still felt that divide. "I appreciate that," she said cautiously. "This event means a lot to me and plenty of other families." Their conversation flowed easily, bouncing back and forth between light-hearted banter and deeper topics as they navigated through the crowd. Each laugh brought down another barrier she had instinctively built. Moments later, the organizers took to a small stage, and the room slowly quieted. Sarah felt the warmth of Tom's presence beside her as they listened to stories of families who had overcome great hardships and the joy of community support. There was an intensity in the air that wrapped around them like a comforting embrace. "Do you ever wonder about our life choices? The things we sacrifice for our kids?" Tom whispered, breaking the silence. Her pulse quickened. "Every day, I just want to make the right choices for Lily. I hope to give her what I didn't have." "Same here," he replied softly. Then, after a beat, he added, "Maybe this night isn't just about charity for you and me." Sarah looked up at him, searching his eyes for clarity. "What do you mean?" Before he could respond, a call from the speaker interrupted them. The organizers were about to announce a special auction, a chance to win a weekend trip to a luxurious resort. The air crackled with excitement. In a moment of spontaneity, Sarah caught Tom's eye and grinned. "Should we bid on it?" She joked, masking her anxious thoughts. "I'd bid on one trip with you anytime," he replied, a serious glint in his eye. That moment hung in the air, thick with what-ifs. She marveled at the connection she felt, but reminded herself of the boundaries that separated their worlds. Just as she opened her mouth to speak, she heard a whisper that pulled her thoughts back. "Tom, but what you don't know could change everything about us." The realization hit her like a bolt. She stepped hesitantly back, the truth of their lives spiraling in her mind. Could she move forward, risking everything she'd been fighting for? As the auction commenced, Sarah wrestled with mingled fears and hopes. She could feel destiny waiting, almost like a dare, urging her to step beyond her comfort zone. What would she choose when it came down to it? And what hidden truths might uncover themselves before the night ended? The auctioneer's voice rang out, pulling Sarah from her thoughts. Bids flew around the room, a mixture of laughter and competitive spirit igniting the air. The excitement was palpable, but inside, Sarah's heart raced for a different reason. Tom shifted beside her, his energy matching the buzz around them. "Let us get in on this," he said, a challenge laced in his tone. "We could have some fun with it." She hesitated. What if they won? A weekend away would be a dream, but felt like a leap off a cliff she wasn't sure she was ready to take. "Are you serious?" she asked, raising an eyebrow. He met her gaze, his expression earnest. "Why not? We can make memories, relax. Maybe even discover what's next for us." Before she could respond, the auctioneer called out, "Just starting at $1,000. Who will open the bidding?" With a swift glance at the crowd, Sarah noticed a few eager hands waving from the back. The excitement swelled around them, but her mind spun with uncertainty. What kind of memories was she ready to create? Tom leaned closer, his voice low. "Sarah, think of it as a chance to see the world outside the diner. A break. Together." Heat rushed to her cheeks. The underlying tension hummed between them, sharpening her senses. A small part of her, one that had been dormant for far too long, whispered that this might be her moment to reclaim a life that sparkled just beyond reach. "Okay," she breathed out, emboldened by his encouragement. "Let us do it." Tom grinned, and together, they raised their paddles, a united front against the world. 2,000. The auctioneer boomed, and cheers erupted throughout the hall. Each bid felt like a step deeper into the unknown. Sarah's heart thudded in her chest as they edged toward the final prices. Each raise of the paddle seemed to shed the weight of her fears, the reservations of a single mother navigating a tightrope between safety and aspiration. they won. Her mind whirled as she processed the audible gasp and then roars of applause. They had done it. The rush was exhilarating, leaving her lighter, almost weightless. She looked at Tom, and he was radiating joy. "This is incredible," he shouted amidst the noise. But suddenly, the crowd around them blurred, and it was just the two of them. The tension she felt moments before flickered like an ember, fiery and warm. "Let us celebrate," Tom proposed as they worked through the throng, excitement bubbling. Sarah sensed that this night was brewing into something more profound than just an impromptu resort getaway. They stood at the edge of something uncharted, yet all-consuming, a connection that felt electric. "Dinner afterward?" he suggested, weaving through the crowd with a playful grin. The restaurant was just down the street, bright lights and laughter beckoning them. The thought fluttered in her mind, but the reality of her situation held her back. Dinner meant getting closer, and what lay behind those walls was the promise of intimacy and risk. Then, just as they reached the exit, a familiar tug ricocheted in her heart, a reminder of Lily waiting at home, and the thousand reasons she couldn't step away long. Yet, Tom's eyes drew her in further, igniting that spark already threatening to flame. "Just a dinner, right?" he said softly, his voice cutting through her spiraling thoughts. "A chance to see what's next." His words hung there, filled with the weight of possibilities. Did she dare let herself hope? Could this night truly lead to something beautiful? As they stood at the door, seconds ticking by, Sarah's heart danced between the thrill of adventure and the caution of her reality. What if by stepping through that door, she could embrace a future she never expected? Just then, her phone buzzed, a message from Lily. "Where are you, Mommy? I miss you." A pang of guilt twisted in her gut. What would she choose? Keep her heart guarded or take a leap of courage into uncharted waters? Sarah took a deep breath, caught in the crosshairs of decisions that would shape her future. What would be the cost of her choice, and were the moments she cherished in her daughter's eyes enough to ward off the flames of possibility sparking within her? The ringing of her phone snapped the moment like a fragile thread. Sarah stared at the screen, her daughter's innocent message glowing, pulling her back to reality, a reality filled with home-cooked meals, bedtime stories, and the promise of safety she had worked so hard to provide. But beneath that responsibility lay her own unfulfilled dreams. "Is everything okay?" Tom asked, watching her intently, his excitement dimming slightly as he sensed her hesitation. "Lily," Sarah said, her voice barely above a whisper. "She's waiting for me. I should go." Tom's expression shifted. He took a step closer, his warmth grounding her. "But you just want an adventure, Sarah. This could be a new beginning. You deserve it." She bit her lip, torn between the mother she was and the woman she longed to be. Those bright lights across the street sparkled with promises of laughter and possibility. But so did the thought of Lily waiting for her, her little girl who relied on her for everything. "I can't just leave her," Sarah murmured, her heart heavy with the weight of the unfamiliar choice. "No one is asking you to leave her," he said gently. "You can still be a great mom and let yourself experience something new. Just a few hours." His words hung in the air like a fragile promise, inviting her to consider what life might offer beyond her familiar world. She envisioned a path that led not just to a restaurant, but to laughter, connection, and maybe even a little magic. "I've never done anything like this," she admitted, nerves dancing in her stomach. "I'm not sure I even know how to have fun anymore." "You're doing it right now," he replied, a bright smile transforming his face. "Just feel it. Be in the moment. You're not just a mother. You're all of you, a woman with dreams, full of courage and heart." His sincerity struck a chord deep within her. The memories of past failures whispered doubts in her ears, but beneath them lay the undeniable urge to reclaim her life. "Okay," she finally said, emboldened in that fleeting moment. "Just dinner. A couple of hours, then I can figure out how to get home." His eyes sparkled with understanding and joy. They both took a deep breath, the air between them charged with a mix of excitement and uncertainty. As they walked to the restaurant, Sarah felt the thrill of what lay ahead. The buzz of conversations washed over them, mingling with the sounds of clinking glasses and laughter. Everything felt alive, a stark contrast to the routine life waiting for her at home. "Tell me what's something you've always wanted to do?" Tom asked over the sounds of the bustling atmosphere, his eyes bright with interest. She paused, caught off guard by the question. There were dreams she hadn't dared speak aloud. I've always wanted to travel, to see the ocean, or just be somewhere exciting, somewhere I feel alive. Tom smiled, something warm and genuine in his expression. Then let us start with tonight. Let us create our own adventure. Their plates arrived, a burst of colors and scents, and as they shared stories, Sarah felt something shift inside her. She laughed freely, her heart beginning to mend as she navigated this unexpected territory with Tom. The connection felt rich and unfamiliar, every shared glance and grin stoking the embers of hope. But just moments later, her phone buzzed again, breaking through the laughter. Another message from Lily. "Mommy, I really miss you. Come home soon." Sarah's chest tightened. The feeling of joy splintered for a moment. "Go check it," Tom encouraged, sensing her change in mood. She glanced, the joy bubbling between them momentarily overshadowed by the tug of her responsibilities. As she read the words, two paths lay before her: stay in this vibrant moment or return home to the familiar sanctuary of motherhood. What if staying meant losing touch with the fire that had been stifled for too long? Sarah looked back at Tom, who waited patiently across the table, a glimmer of concern now mingling with hope in his eyes. Which future would she choose? As the flickering of candlelight danced between them, she felt the weight of the decision pressing down on her. Should she follow her heart or return to the life she had always known? Before her mind could settle on an answer, the air thickened with tension, an unspoken expectation hanging between them. Sarah knew that whatever choice she made that night would redefine everything. Sarah sat there, the words on her screen fading into the background noise of the restaurant. She felt a tug between her past and a fragile glimmer of possibility, a painful yet exhilarating conflict within her heart. Tom watched her carefully, his expression a mixture of concern and encouragement. "Hey," he said, his voice cutting through her swirling thoughts. "It's just a text. You know Lily is safe. She's with your friend, right? You're allowed to enjoy this night." "Yeah, she's fine," Sarah replied, forcing a smile. It's hard. I want to be present for her, but I also need to remember who I am outside of that role. It feels impossible sometimes." He reached across the table, his fingers brushing against hers, a connection that sent a jolt of warmth through her. "It's not impossible," Tom said softly. "You can do both. You just need to find your balance." His kindness wrapped around her like a cozy blanket, soothing the anxiety that had taken root in her chest. Maybe he was right. Maybe tonight could be a step towards that balance she longed for. "So," he said, leaning in slightly with a playful glint in his eyes, "what if I told you that I know a secret place in the city where you can feel alive?" Her interest piqued. "Really? What kind of place?" "It's a rooftop bar, not too far from here. The view is incredible, especially at sunset," Tom explained, excitement bubbling in his tone. "The city lights, the energy, it's 100 times better than hanging out in a typical restaurant. What do you say? We could go after we finish dinner." At that moment, his suggestion felt like a reckless thrill. "All right, let us do it." Sarah's heart raced at the thought of stepping even further outside her comfort zone. As they moved through their meal, she found herself sharing stories she hadn't thought about in years. She spoke of silly adventures, dreams once whispered into the night, and the way she used to dance in her living room as a young girl. With each laugh, a piece of her joy returned. When they finished eating, Tom led her into the brisk evening air. The streets buzzed with life, bits of laughter and music floating around them, mingling with the scent of street food. The city pulsed, alive with an energy that made Sarah feel like she was part of something much bigger than herself. Arriving at the rooftop bar, she gasped at the view. The sky was painted with hues of orange and purple, the horizon stretching out like an invitation. "Wow," she breathed, stepping closer to the edge, the wind brushing through her hair. Tom stood beside her, a proud smile on his face. "Welcome to the adventure." In that moment, Sarah felt a shift, a sense of belonging. Yes, but also a burgeoning sense of self. Here, with Tom by her side, she could feel the weight of her responsibilities lifting, even if just temporarily. They started talking again, exchanging shares of their dreams, their fears. Then, out of nowhere, Tom asked, "If you could change one thing about your life right now, what would it be?" The question hung in the air. She paused, searching deep within herself. "I want to stop being afraid of taking risks. I want to embrace opportunities, even the scary ones." Tom looked at her, his gaze unwavering. That's a beautiful goal. Embrace the fear and the fun. They can coexist. For the first time in years, Sarah felt the stirrings of hope blossoming. Yet, before she could fully revel in this turning point, her phone buzzed once more, disrupting the moment. "Mommy, I'm getting sleepy. Please come home soon." Gripping her phone tightly, her heart sank. The anticipation of change, of vibrant possibilities, clashed with the solid pull of motherhood. She turned to Tom, who studied her intently. "You good?" "I'm trying to be," she confessed, her mind racing again. As she gazed into the twinkling city lights, uncertainty swirled in her heart once more. Was it fair to balance her desires with Lily's needs? Would she always be caught in this tug-of-war? Just then, she caught Tom's resilient spirit reflected in his eyes, the understanding that sometimes embracing the unknown was just as important as fulfilling expectations. With the sun slipping behind the buildings, Sarah took a deep breath, realizing she was at a crossroads. Could she trust herself to step into this new world, or would she retreat to the comfort of what she knew? As the city buzzed around her, Sarah knew tonight would change everything. The decision loomed, and the thrill of it all echoed within her. "Tom," she began, her heart racing anew. "What if this night isn't just about having fun? What if it's a chance to find out who I really am?" But just as she prepared to dive into the depths of that thought, another text popped up, this one shaking her foundations entirely. "Mommy, I have something important to tell you." Sarah felt her heart drop. What could it mean? Immediate worry seeped in, demanding her attention like a piercing alarm. What had Lily left unsaid? The cold metal of her phone felt harsh against her palm. What could be so important? She thought, her mind racing through a spectrum of fears and uncertainties. Was Lily okay? Had something happened? As her heart raced, Tom's hand gently brushed against her back, trying to bring her focus to the moment, to the beauty surrounding them. But Sarah felt as if the ground had shifted beneath her. She stood on the edge of an exhilarating night, yet the shadow of her daughter's needs loomed large. "Hey, everything all right?" Tom's voice broke through her spiraling thoughts, steady and calm. "I don't know yet. I need to check this," she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. "Tension's high. Let us grab a drink first." "You need a moment," he suggested, trying to divert her concern with a hint of a smile that danced in his warm eyes. "No, I really should," but the sound of yet another text drowned out her hesitation. "Mommy, I promise I'll be brave, but please come home soon." The words struck her like a thunderbolt. Lily was always so thoughtful, so much like her. But the worry in her message hinted at something deeper. Maybe she needed her mom more than ever. Sarah felt heat crawl up her neck. "Let us get out of here," she said urgently, her heart racing faster now. "Wait, hold up," Tom said, his concern palpable. "You can go, but I don't want you to feel rushed or pressured. Take your time." She paused, the moment hanging thick in the night air. "If I leave now, will I miss something important?" Missing out is part of growth, but so is being there for the ones you love. It's your choice. His words struck a chord, resonating in the midst of her turmoil. Tom was reminding her that being a mother didn't mean losing herself. She could make room for her desires and still be present for Lily. Yet, that pull within her was undeniable. The deep connection she felt with Tom was shadowed by the urgency of her child's needs. For a moment, she was caught in a tug-of-war, the joys of newfound freedom battling the love that anchored her to her daughter. Can it wait? She asked herself. Can I be both Sarah, the fun-loving woman, and also Lily's mom? She inhaled sharply. The sound of distant laughter from the bar was a reminder of the possibilities that lay just outside her grasp. She turned to Tom, who was patiently watching her, allowing her this moment to wrestle with her choices. I don't know how to balance it all, she finally admitted, her voice trembling. Balance doesn't mean compromise, he replied softly. It means integrating your worlds. Walk into that challenge, and you might find your answers. You've got this. His faith was a balm to her anxious heart. Sarah took a deep breath, appreciating how he didn't pressure her, yet inspired her to find the potential within herself. Okay, she began, her thoughts racing again. What if I take a moment to be fully here? Just for a few more minutes. Then, I can go home. Let us do that, he said, his smile genuine. And we'll toast to your courage. As they moved towards the bar, she felt a spark of excitement. The city lights twinkled like distant dreams, and the night hummed with promise. But then another message chimed in, once again interrupting her thoughts. "Mommy, you need to know something really important." Her breath hitched. The message reverberated in her mind. Whatever Lily had to say couldn't wait. What had she unearthed? With the decision still teetering on the edge, Sarah felt her chest tighten. The thrill of stepping into the unknown filled her with hope, yet the need to protect her child was a tether she couldn't shake. "Tom," she said softly, the weight of her words hanging between them. "What if I can't be both who I want to be and who I need to be as a mother?" The clamor of the city dulled around her, and in that moment, the stakes felt higher than ever as she faced the turning point of her evening, the echo of her daughter's words hanging heavily in the air. Could she embrace this newfound thrill while ensuring Lily felt safe? With every heartbeat, Sarah could feel the importance of that very question. What if Lily's message was something that could change everything? Sarah's fingers trembled over the screen, eager to know what Lily had uncovered. A million thoughts raced through her mind. Was it about school, something with friends, or worse, something she didn't know about? Tom stood beside her, a steady presence amidst the chaos swirling in her head. "Do you need to step away?" he asked gently, concern flashing in his eyes. I just wish I knew what she wanted to say," Sarah replied, her voice shaky. There was an urgent need to be there for Lily while also wanting to claim this moment for herself. She could feel the weight of both lives pressing heavily on her chest. As if sensing her inner turmoil, Tom took a step closer. "You can do both, you know. Just because you have to leave doesn't mean you have to close the door on this." His hand brushed against hers, warm and grounding. The sincerity in his voice made her pause. Could she really navigate this new chapter of her life while being the mother she yearned to be? Taking a deep breath, she pulled up Lily's message again. The screen glowed in the dim light, the words now feeling monumental. What did her daughter want to share that was so urgent? "Mommy, you need to know something really important." She couldn't shake the anxiety creeping in. This wasn't just a casual text. It felt different. "I should call her." "Go ahead," Tom encouraged, settling into a relaxed stance, letting her know he would wait. Sarah's heart beat wildly. Dialing Lily's number felt like crossing a bridge into the unknown. After a few rings, the line connected, and she could hear her daughter's small breath on the other side. "Mom." Lily's voice was thin, laced with an emotion that sent a chill down Sarah's spine. "Sweetheart, I just got your message. Is everything okay?" "I don't know if it's okay," Lily whispered, her voice trembling. "Tell me," Sarah prompted, urging her daughter not to hold back. "It's about my project at school. I thought it was just a silly idea, but it might actually be important." "Yeah?" Sarah felt a rush of both relief and curiosity. "What is it?" "They said we could enter a contest, and if I win, the prize is funding for a project that could help all the kids at school." Sarah's heart skipped a beat. This was good news. "That sounds amazing, honey. What do you need from me?" "I need your help with my presentation. I thought about the family garden idea and thought it could make a real difference." The enthusiasm in Lily's voice seemed to grow, melting away the worry that had crept in moments ago. "Of course. Just tell me when and I'll be there," Sarah promised, relief washing over her. "Really?" Lily's joy was palpable. "Thanks, Mommy. I knew you'd understand." Just then, she felt a gentle squeeze on her elbow. Tom's reassuring presence was filled with warmth, and she realized how quickly the tension in her chest had eased. As they ended the call, a wave of confidence surged through her. "I can be there for her and still enjoy tonight," she breathed out, a smile breaking across her face. "See," Tom said, his eyes sparkling. "You found your answer." Just as they were about to step back into the buzz of the bar, another message lit up on Sarah's phone. The words sent a jolt through her as she read. "Mom, there's something else I didn't want to say over the phone, but Richie found something big." Her stomach dropped. What could that mean? It was a quiet invitation back into the anxiety she'd just escaped, but the mystery beckoned as her heart raced anew. "Tom," she murmured, the thrill of the night and the weight of motherhood colliding again. "What if this leads us to something unexpected?" With her gaze fixed on the city lights, she wondered just how intertwined their lives could truly be. And in that moment, she felt the pulse of possibility. Something monumental was waiting just around the corner. The world around Sarah seemed to blur as her heart raced against the backdrop of city lights and laughter spilling from the bar. Her phone felt heavier in her hand, the new message looming in her thoughts like a storm cloud ready to unleash. What could something big mean? Her mind danced with images of triumphs and dangers, and she couldn't shake the thrill or the dread. Are you okay? Tom's voice broke through her swirling thoughts, concern threading through his features. She swallowed hard, trying to steady herself. It's Lily, she said. Richie found something. Something big. I don't know what it is, but it doesn't sound harmless. Tom's brow furrowed. Do you want to go home? We can figure this out together. The warmth of their moment lingered, but as much as she appreciated his offer, Sarah felt a fierce determination burning inside her. No, I want to be here right now, but I need to know what it is. Then let us find a corner and call her back, he suggested, gently guiding her away from the crowd. They settled into a quieter nook of the bar, the music muted but still pulsing. Sarah's fingers danced nervously on the screen as she dialed Lily's number again. It rang only once before Lily picked up, her voice breathless. Mom? Okay, what is going on? Tell me everything, Sarah urged, her heartbeat synchronized with the urgency in Lily's tone. I can't explain it all right now, but Richie said he found something at the school. It's a secret project and involves some old files. He thinks it might help with the contest, but it could be more serious than that. The tremor in her voice returned, tightening the knot in Sarah's stomach. Serious how? Sarah felt a fresh wave of anxiety crash in. Like, things that happen with other students. Weird stuff. I don't want to say too much over the phone. I need you to come to school tomorrow. Can you do that? Absolutely, I'll be there. Just hang tight and don't do anything before I get there, okay? Promise. Love you, Mom. The call ended, leaving Sarah with an avalanche of emotions. She looked at Tom, who waited, allowing her to process what had just unraveled. What did she say? He asked, his eyes locking onto hers, full of concern. It's bigger than I thought. Lily wants me to meet her tomorrow. She's found something with Richie, something that could help with her project, or could lead to something dangerous. Tom nodded, absorbing the weight of her words. We need to make sure it's okay. Do you think there's a chance it could pose a risk? What if it brings up trouble? I don't know, but I can't let fear keep me from finding out the truth for her. Sarah inhaled deeply, her resolve solidifying that a deep silence cloaked them momentarily, punctuated by the distant laughter of patrons. Then Tom took a step closer, his gaze unwavering. I'll be there with you, whatever it is. We'll get to the bottom of it together, he promised, a hint of admiration in his tone. His steadfast support washed over Sarah like a balm. But a nagging feeling remained, a warning siren pulling at her instincts. Thank you, Tom. I just feel like everything is changing. What if this is more than just a school project? Then let us be prepared for whatever comes next. The determination in his voice echoed in her heart. As they pushed away from their corner, a fresh wave of people surged into the bar, their laughter and chatter filling the air. Yet, Sarah felt a sense of clarity amidst the noise, a pathway opening to a tomorrow she had not expected. Are you ready to face whatever, big mystery is in store for us? Sarah teased lightly, trying to inject some levity. Tom chuckled softly. As long as I'm with you, I'm up for the challenge. Sarah's phone buzzed in her pocket, diverting her thoughts. She pulled it out, her heart skipping again as she read the new alert. Mom, just one more thing. I don't think we're the only ones looking into this. Her breath hitched. Who else was involved? What had they stumbled into? Tom, she whispered, the question wrapped tight in her throat. What if someone else is in the shadows watching us? The chill ran down her spine as she caught a glimpse of the uncertainty that lay ahead, a thrilling maze of possibilities and dangers waiting just out of sight. As the weight of Lily's warning sank deep within her, Sarah felt an unsettling tension gnawed in her stomach. She cast a wary glance around the bar, half expecting to see someone lurking in the shadows. Was it paranoia? Or was there indeed someone else, someone unsavory, involved in whatever they had stumbled upon? Tom noticed her unease, his expression shifting from concern to determination. Hey, breathe. We'll figure this out. Let's just focus on getting to tomorrow and meeting with Lily. Sarah nodded, fighting to banish the gnawing sense of danger. Right. Tomorrow. The night continued around them, vibrant and chaotic, but she felt increasingly disconnected. Laughter echoed, drinks clinked together, yet each sound only reminded her of the heaviness that draped over her heart. Do you want to grab a bite to eat before we go? Tom inquired, trying to shift the mood. A little distraction might help. Sure, that sounds nice. She forced a smile, grateful for him trying to lift her spirits. They made their way to the bar's food counter. As they navigated through the throngs of people, Sarah caught snippets of conversations about mundane things like weekend plans and upcoming concerts. Yet, her mind was a labyrinth of worry over her daughter's safety and the unknown risks lurking in the darkness. Tom ordered 2 burgers and fries, and as they waited, he casually asked, "Any ideas on what this project could be?" "Honestly, no," she replied, her fingers tapping nervously on the counter. Lily has always been driven, especially about her schoolwork. But if it involves hidden files, then it's bound to be something complicated, something she might not be ready for. Could it be about students from the past? What kind of files are we talking about? Tom probed, leaning closer. "I don't know, Tom, but I've always told her to be cautious with secrets. It usually leads to trouble." She sighed, picturing her bright daughter lost in a web of things she didn't yet understand. "How about we do a little digging of our own? Before tomorrow?" he suggested, actively thinking. "Maybe investigate the school online, see if anyone else has mentioned anything strange." "That's not a bad idea. But what if we attract attention?" "Better to know than to remain in the dark," he answered firmly. His voice was steady, a reassuring presence amidst her swirling thoughts. The burgers arrived, steaming on the tray, but her appetite had faded, replaced by the urgency to ensure Lily's safety. They sat at the bar, the food forgotten between them. Instead, they leaned over Tom's phone, searching for anything connected to the school that could help decipher what Lily and Richie had uncovered. Every scroll felt purposeful, but nothing seemed to fit the pieces of the puzzle. "Nothing yet," Tom finally admitted with a frown. "But we should stay vigilant. Stories go back years. There could be layers we haven't considered." "Yeah," Sarah echoed, her mind wandering again. What if they stumbled upon something that had been untouched? Would they become targets? Suddenly, her phone buzzed again. She glanced down, heart racing uncontrollably as she read the new message from Lily. "Mom, I really think someone is watching. I saw a car outside the school today, and it kept circling. Please hurry." Fear washed over Sarah like icy water. "Tom, she needs me now. Let us go?" He stood, an unwavering companion ready to face whatever lies ahead. As they made their way back to the door, a chilling thought crept into Sarah's mind. What if this wasn't just about Lily anymore? What if they were all being drawn into something far darker? With determination etched in his features, Tom looked back at her. "We'll get through this together, I promise." But as Sarah stepped out into the cool night, a shadow moved across the street, drawing her gaze. Suddenly, someone was there, just a glimpse of face she couldn't recognize. Who was watching them? Who else was involved? And as they left the comforting warmth of the bar behind, the night wrapped tightly around them, pulling them closer to the unknown adventures that awaited. The night air was crisp as Sarah and Tom stepped outside, her heart beating like a drum. The shadows cast by neon lights flickered uneasily across the ground, mirroring her swirling thoughts. "Tom, I can't lose Lily. Not now," she said, urgency lacing her voice. He turned, steadying her with his gaze, embodying the strength she desperately needed. "We'll figure this out. Remember, we're a team." With a deep breath, she nodded, grateful for his reassurance. The night felt charged, not just with excitement, but with a sense of impending change. They hopped into his car, the engine rumbling to life. But Sarah's mind raced with images of Lily, safe at home, yet alarmed about the cryptic warning. As Tom deftly maneuvered through the streets, she watched the world whiz by, the city she loved now tinged with her growing fears. "What if we're too late?" "Don't think like that. You're a strong mom. You've always kept her safe." "This time will be no different," Tom replied, his voice calm and assured. Arriving at Lily's school, darkness enveloped them. The familiar structure loomed ahead, quiet and still except for the distant rustle of leaves. "Stay close," Tom said as they approached the entrance, both feeling the weight of the unknown. The thrill of adventure was drowned out by the shadows of uncertainty. "Lily?" Sarah's voice echoed as they crossed the threshold. Her heart pounded louder than the silence that greeted them. The school felt different in the darkness, its corridors whispering secrets, hints of intrigue lurking around every corner. "Mom, we're in here." A soft voice from the end of a hallway guided them. Relief flooded through Sarah, and before they knew it, they turned the corner to find her standing with Richie, his nervous expression mirroring Sarah's worries. "Lily, are you okay?" Sarah rushed to her daughter, engulfing her in a tight embrace, feeling the warmth of safety return. "I'm fine, but we need to talk," Lily said, pulling back with a determined look. "Richie found some old files. They mentioned some students who disappeared, and I think the contest is tied to this. We have to be careful. Someone might be watching." "Richie?" Tom moved in closer, his focus now on the boy who looked like he had just seen a ghost. "What do you know?" "Just that I've seen some strange things. Cars that keep circling nearby the school. Odd faces, people who don't belong." Richie stammered, glancing over his shoulder as if the shadows were alive. Sarah felt her heart sink. "How long has this been going on?" "About a week," Lily answered. "I didn't want to tell you until I had proof. But it's getting worse. I don't want you to worry, but I think we're onto something big." In that instant, Sarah recognized the fire in her daughter's eyes, the same spark that had once ignited her own dreams. "We'll unravel it, together. But we need a plan," she said, determination coursing through her veins. "Tom and I will help. Can we go home first? Check and make sure everything's okay there?" Lily looked between Sarah and Tom, anxiety edging her voice. "Absolutely. Let us regroup, and then we can come back for any documents Richie found," Tom suggested, his calm demeanor calming their collective nerves. "We stick together. No one moves alone." Nodding, Sarah felt a surge of confidence igniting within her. The connection she had with Tom fortified her yearning to protect Lily and reclaim her own power. As they stepped outside, she glanced back at Richie. "You stick close, too. We'll tackle this as a team." With the distant hum of the night around them, they walked back into the moonlit street, the shadows lifting. Familiarity took over as they climbed into Tom's car, and she realized, for the first time in ages, that she wasn't just a single mother trying to survive, but a force ready to face any challenge with her family by her side. The ride home felt different, every word shared, every glance exchanged charged with newfound purpose. They were no longer just strangers converging on an adventure. Instead, they had become an unbreakable trio navigating the twists and turns of life together. One step closer to uncovering truths while forging bonds. At home, cuddled with her daughter and fortified by Tom's unwavering support, Sarah knew she could harbor both dreams and responsibilities. A light flickered in her heart as she embraced both roles, mother and adventurer. This journey into the unknown beckoned her, filled with promise. "Tomorrow's a new day," she whispered, kissing Lily's forehead gently. As the walls around them echoed with love and laughter, she was ready for it all, the joys, the challenges, and the undeniable thrill of discovery. And with the dawn of tomorrow, they would dive deep, venturing into the mysteries that awaited, together. The moment felt electric, igniting a spark she hadn't felt in years. Tomorrow, everything began anew, and Sarah couldn't wait to explore every facet of this beautiful life she was about to reclaim. She could feel the stirring of adventure both in her heart and in the world around her. It was time to embrace her new reality, for it was never merely about survival. It was about living, truly living. Now listen up. You need to subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help us grow. Comment down below your reactions and feelings about this ending, because we truly want to hear from you. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who absolutely need to see this incredible transformation. Let us spread the inspiration.